Chosen ones, the message you've been waiting for is finally here, and God Himself has declared that your long season of waiting is over. This isn't just another moment in your life, it's the moment, the divine signal you've been praying for, the one that shifts everything you've known. God has spoken, and His words are clear. Your time of standing in the shadows, of wondering when your breakthrough will come, ends now. A new chapter is unfolding, one where every promise He made to you begins to take shape, where every tear you've shed becomes a seed for joy, and where every step you take is guided by His unshakable hand. You've carried burdens for years, haven't you? You've faced nights where the silence felt heavier than the day's struggles. You've asked God, when will my time come? When will I see the answers I've been seeking? Those questions weren't ignored. Every prayer, every whisper, every moment of faith you held onto was heard. God was collecting them, weaving them into a tapestry of purpose that's now ready to be revealed. This message is your confirmation. Your waiting wasn't wasted. It was preparation. God was shaping you, refining you, making you ready for what's about to pour into your life. Picture a dam holding back a mighty river. For years, the water has been building, pressing against the walls, waiting for the moment to break free. That dam is your life, chosen one, and God is about to open the floodgates, the blessings, the opportunities, the clarity you've been seeking. They're not coming someday, they're coming now. This isn't about hoping for a distant future. It's about stepping into a present where God's promises are alive, where His favor surrounds you, and where your purpose shines brighter than ever before. If this truth is stirring something in your spirit, if you feel the weight of this moment, pause right now and leave a comment with the number 777. That number carries energy of divine completion, a sign to the universe that you're ready to receive what God has prepared. And while you're there, hit that like button to spread this message to other chosen ones who need to hear it. Your action amplifies this truth, sending it out to those still waiting for their moment. God's timing is never random. Think about Joseph, sold into slavery, locked in a prison, forgotten by those he helped. He waited, not knowing when his purpose would unfold. But when God's moment arrived, Joseph didn't just walk out of prison. He stepped into a palace, into a destiny that changed nations. Your waiting has been like Joseph's prison, a place of testing, of growth, of unseen preparation. But now, God is opening the gates. You're not stepping into small things. You're stepping into a calling that will ripple through your life and beyond. What does it mean to receive the message you've been waiting for? It's not just words. It's a shift in your reality. It's the moment when doubt fades, when fear loses its grip, and when you start to see the path God has carved out for you. You've been carrying a vision, haven't you? A dream, a purpose, something so big it sometimes scared you. That vision wasn't an accident. It was God whispering His plan into your heart, preparing you for a life that reflects His glory. Your waiting wasn't punishment, it was purpose. Every closed door, every delay, every moment you felt stuck was God aligning the pieces of your story. He wasn't saying no, He was saying, not yet. And now, the yet has arrived. The answers you've sought are unfolding. The clarity you've craved is here. The opportunities you've prayed for are knocking. This is your moment to stand up, to claim what's yours, to walk boldly into the life God has promised. If you're feeling this truth resonate deep in your soul, type 777 inches the comments below. Let it be your declaration that you're ready for God's promises to manifest. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones who are walking this path together. Your presence in this community strengthens us all, amplifying the light we carry into the world. Think about the woman at the well, carrying her jar, her shame, her story of rejection. She didn't know that day would change everything. One conversation with Jesus, one moment of truth, and her life was transformed. She didn't just receive a message, she became a messenger running to her village, proclaiming what she'd found. That's what this moment is for you. God's message isn't just for you to hold. It's for you to carry, to share, to live out in a way that changes everything around you. This message marks the end of your waiting, but it's also the beginning of your action. God isn't just handing you answers, He's handing you responsibility. The dreams you've carried, the prayers you've whispered, they're not just for you. They're for the people you're meant to touch, the lives you're meant to change, the legacy you're meant to build. Your breakthrough isn't just personal, it's generational. It's a shift that will echo through your family, your community, your world. What does it look like when God's promises unfold? It's not always a lightning bolt or a sudden windfall. Sometimes it's a quiet knowing, a peace that settles in your heart. Sometimes it's a door opening that you didn't expect, a connection, an opportunity, a moment of clarity that changes how you see everything. But make no mistake, when God moves, it's undeniable. You'll feel it in your spirit, see it in your circumstances, and know it in your bones that this is His hand at work. Type 777 inches, the comments, if you're ready to step into this new season, if you're claiming the answers God has promised. Your declaration isn't just words, it's a signal to the heavens that you're aligned with His plan. And if this message is speaking to you, subscribe to stand with countless other chosen ones who are awakening to their purpose. Together, we're a force of light, a community of faith, ready to receive what God has in store. Consider Noah, building an ark while the world laughed. He didn't have all the answers. He didn't know the exact day the rain would fall. But he trusted God's word, and he acted. Every hammer strike, every plank laid, was an act of faith in a promise he couldn't yet see. That's where you are now, chosen one. You've been building your ark, trusting through the waiting, acting even when the world didn't understand. And now, the rain is coming not to destroy, but to water the seeds of your purpose. This message is your confirmation that God sees you. He knows the nights you've cried, the dreams you've held, the battles you've fought in silence. He's seen every step of your journey, and He's declaring that your season of waiting is done. The answers are here. The doors are opening. The path is clear. You're not just receiving a message, you're stepping into a destiny that's been written for you since the beginning of time. Your life is about to become a testimony. People will look at you and wonder, how did they do it? How did they rise from struggle to victory, from waiting to winning? They'll see the light in your eyes, the peace in your steps, the favor on your life, and they'll know it's God. Your story will inspire others, not because you sought glory, but because you trusted Him. Your breakthrough will be their hope, your victory their proof that God keeps His promises. One last time, if you feel this message burning in your heart, type 777 inches the comments. Let it be your bold declaration that you're ready for God's answers, ready for His promises, ready for the life He's calling you to. And hit that like button to share this truth with others who need to hear it. Your action strengthens this message, spreading it to those still waiting for their moment. This isn't about chasing miracles, it's about receiving them. God's message to you is clear. What you've been waiting for is no longer ahead of you. It's here. The answers aren't coming someday. They're unfolding now. You've been faithful in the waiting, steadfast in the storms, and now God is rewarding you with a season of overflow. Your life is about to reflect His glory in ways you never imagined. Think of Esther, a woman who waited in the shadows, unknown, uncelebrated. But when God's moment came, she stepped into a palace, into a purpose that saved a nation. Your waiting has positioned you for a moment like hers. You're not just stepping into answers, you're stepping into influence, into impact, into a calling that will change lives. God has prepared you for this, and He's ready to show the world what He's placed in you. Every delay you faced was a setup. Every closed door was a redirection. Every moment of uncertainty was God teaching you to trust Him more. Now, as the answers unfold, you'll see why the wait was necessary. You'll see why the struggles were worth it. You'll see how every step, every tear, every prayer was building something eternal, something unshakable, something divine. Your purpose is bigger than you. The message you've been waiting for isn't just about your needs, it's about the world's needs. God has chosen you to carry His light, to be His hands, to speak His truth. The answers coming to you now are tools for a greater mission. They're not just blessings, they're responsibilities. You're being equipped to change lives, to break chains, to show others what's possible when you trust God. Imagine a seed buried in the dark, pressed under the weight of the earth. It doesn't know when the sun will come, but it trusts it will. That's been you, chosen one, planted, waiting, trusting, and now the soil is breaking open. The light is reaching you. You're not just sprouting, you're blooming, growing into something that will bear fruit for generations. This is what God's message means. Your time of hiddenness is over. The answers God is bringing aren't temporary. They're not fleeting moments of relief. They're foundations for a life of purpose, abundance, and impact. You're not just receiving clarity, you're receiving power. Power to walk in His will, to live out His promises, to be the light He's called you to be. This is the moment where your faith meets His faithfulness, where your waiting meets His reward. Look at David, a shepherd boy waiting in the fields, unseen by kings, unnoticed by the powerful. But God saw him. God chose him. And when the time came, David didn't just step into a throne, he stepped into a legacy that still echoes today. Your waiting has been your field, your preparation, your proving ground. Now, God is calling you to step into your throne, your purpose, your destiny. This message is your invitation to act, not to strive, not to chase, but to receive, to open your hands, your heart, your life to what God is pouring out. You've been faithful in the small things, and now He's entrusting you with the big things. The answers you've sought are here, not as a distant hope, but as a present reality. Step into them with boldness, with faith, with the certainty that God is with you. Your life is about to become a living proof of God's goodness. People will see you and know that something divine is at work. They'll see your peace, your strength, your joy, and they'll want to know the God who made it possible. Your story isn't just yours, it's a beacon, a testimony, a light that will draw others to Him. This is what it means to be a chosen one, to carry His message, to live His truth, to shine His light. The waiting taught you resilience. It taught you trust. It taught you to lean on God when the world offered no answers. And now, as the answers come, you're stronger for it. You're ready for it. You're equipped for it. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. He didn't make you wait to let you down. This message is His promise, His declaration, His assurance that your time is now. Think of Ruth, walking through fields of grief, loss, and uncertainty. She didn't know Boaz was waiting. She didn't know her story would become a cornerstone of God's plan. But she trusted, she moved, she acted in faith, and God turned her waiting into a legacy. Your waiting is turning into a legacy too, chosen one. The answers you're receiving are the beginning of a story that will inspire others for years to come. This is your moment to rise, not to prove yourself, not to earn God's favor, but to walk in it. The message you've been waiting for is here, and it's bigger than you imagined. It's not just about your needs being met. It's about your purpose being fulfilled. It's about stepping into a life where every step is guided, every door is opened, every promise is kept. God is with you, and He's ready to show the world what He's placed in you. Your waiting has built something in you that nothing else could. It's built faith that doesn't waver, strength that doesn't break, hope that doesn't fade. Now, as God's answers unfold, that faith, that strength, that hope will carry you into a season of overflow. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, shining, becoming the person God always knew you could be. The message you've been waiting for isn't just words, it's a turning point. It's the moment where your past meets your future, where your struggles meet your victories, where your waiting meets God's promises. You're not just hearing this message, you're living it. Every day, every step, every choice you make from this moment forward is part of the life God is unfolding for you. Consider Moses, waiting in the desert for 40 years, tending sheep, far from the palaces of Egypt. He thought his story was over, that his purpose had passed. But God hadn't forgotten him. When the time came, God called him to lead a nation, to part seas, to change history. Your desert, your waiting, has been preparing you for something just as big. God is calling you now, chosen one, to step into the purpose He's been shaping all along. This message is your burning bush, your divine signal, your moment of encounter. God is saying, I've seen you, I've heard you, and now I'm moving. The answers you've sought aren't just coming, they're here. The doors you've knocked on are opening. The dreams you've carried are taking shape. This is the moment where everything changes, where your waiting becomes your testimony, where your faith becomes your victory. You're not just a person hearing a message, you're a chosen one, stepping into a destiny written by God's own hand. The waiting was hard, but it was worth it. The struggles were real, but they're over. The answers are here, and they're yours to claim. Walk boldly, chosen one. God is with you, and His promises are true. Your time is now. Chosen ones, the message you've been waiting for is not a fleeting whisper. It's a roar from heaven, shaking the foundations of your life. God is declaring that the season of silence is over, and His voice is now guiding you into a future where every step you take aligns with His divine purpose. You've walked through valleys where answers seemed distant, where the path felt unclear, but now the fog is lifting. The clarity you've longed for is breaking through, and it's revealing a destiny so bold, so powerful, that it will redefine everything you thought was possible. You've carried questions in your heart, haven't you? Questions about why certain doors stayed closed, why some dreams lingered just out of reach. Those questions weren't a sign of God's stores absence, they were proof of His presence. Every unanswered prayer was a moment He used to teach you patience, to build your trust, to prepare you for a purpose that required unshakable faith. Now, as His message unfolds, those questions are turning into answers, those closed doors are swinging wide, and those dreams are stepping into reality. Imagine a sunrise after a long, dark night. The first rays don't just light the sky, they transform it, painting it with colors that seemed impossible in the darkness. That's what God's message is doing in your life right now. It's not just illuminating your path, It's rewriting your story with hues of hope, courage, and divine favor. You're not just moving forward, you're stepping into a new dawn, where every moment is charged with His purpose, where every choice you make carries His power. Your journey has been like a river carving through stone. It's been slow, sometimes painful, cutting through layers of doubt and resistance. But that river, your faith, your perseverance, has shaped something beautiful. It's created a path that only you could walk, a testimony that only you could carry. God's message to you now is that the river has reached its destination. The obstacles are giving way, and what's ahead is a vast, open space where His promises will flow freely, filling every part of your life with abundance. Think of Abraham, called to leave everything familiar for a promise he couldn't yet see. He didn't know the land God was leading him to, but he trusted the one who called him. Your waiting has been your journey to an unknown land, a place of faith where you've learned to trust God's voice over the world's noise. Now, like Abraham, you're arriving at the place He promised, a land of purpose, of blessing, of impact that stretches far beyond what you can imagine. This message isn't just about receiving answers, it's about becoming the answer. God hasn't just been preparing you for your own breakthrough, He's been shaping you to be a light for others. The clarity you're stepping into now isn't just for you, it's for the people who will see your life and find hope. It's for the ones who will hear your story and believe again. Your purpose is a beacon, chosen one, and God's message is the spark that's setting it ablaze. You've felt the weight of waiting, haven't you? The moments when it seemed like everyone else was moving forward while you stood still. But God wasn't holding you back. He was holding you close, teaching you to hear His voice in the quiet, to find His strength in the stillness. Now, that stillness is giving way to movement. The answers you've sought are not just words, they're doors, opportunities, connections that God is placing in your path right now. If this truth is igniting something in your spirit, type 777 inches the comments below. Let it be your bold claim that you're ready for God's answers, ready for His purpose to unfold. And if you're moved to share this light, hit that like button to send this message to other chosen ones who need it. Subscribe to join thousands of souls walking this divine path together, amplifying the truth that God's promises are breaking through. Picture a garden hidden under winter's frost. For months, it's looked lifeless, but beneath the surface, roots were growing, life was stirring. That's been your season of waiting, hidden, quiet, but alive with God's work. Now, spring has come, the frost is melting, and what's been growing in secret is about to bloom. Your life is that garden, chosen one, and God's message is the sun, calling forth every seed of purpose He planted in you. This isn't about chasing what's next, it's about receiving what's now. God's answers aren't waiting for you to prove yourself. They're waiting for you to accept them. You've been faithful in the small moments, trusting when it was hard, believing when it didn't make sense. Now, God is saying, well done. He's opening His hand, pouring out blessings that will overflow, not just meeting your needs, but exceeding them in ways that will leave you in awe. Consider Hannah, praying year after year for a child, her heart heavy with longing. She didn't give up, even when her prayers seemed unanswered. And when God's time came, He didn't just give her a son. He gave her Samuel, a prophet who changed a nation. Your waiting has been your prayer, your faith has been your offering, and now God is answering with a purpose that will touch more lives than you can count. The message you've been waiting for is a call to rise, not to strive harder, but to stand taller. God is lifting the veil, showing you the path He's prepared. It's a path of clarity, where every step feels sure, where every decision is guided by his wisdom. You're not stumbling anymore, you're walking with purpose, with power, with the assurance that God is ordering your steps. Your life is becoming a mirror of God's faithfulness. People will look at you and see his hand at work. They'll see the way you carry peace in chaos, strength in uncertainty, joy in trials. They won't just see you, they'll see him. Your story is becoming a testament, a living proof that God's promises are true, that his timing is perfect, that his love never fails. This is what it means to be a chosen one, to reflect his glory in every part of your life. The answers God is bringing are like pieces of a puzzle, falling into place one by one. You may not see the full picture yet, but each piece, each moment of clarity, each open door is revealing more of his plan. Trust the process, chosen one. Trust that every answer, every opportunity, every breakthrough is part of a masterpiece God is crafting in your life. You're not just living, you're creating a legacy of faith. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves. It doesn't fight the storm, it simply shines, guiding ships to safety. That's you, chosen one. Your waiting has built you into a lighthouse, unshaken by the storms of life, shining with the light of God's truth. His message to you now is to keep shining, to keep standing, to keep trusting. The answers are here, and they're guiding you and others to a place of safety and purpose. God's message is rewriting your reality. It's not just changing what you see, it's changing how you see. You're starting to notice the opportunities that were always there, the connections God was always preparing, the strength he was always building in you. This message is a lens, bringing everything into focus, showing you that the life you've dreamed of isn't a fantasy, it's God's plan, unfolding now. Think of Daniel, thrown into a den of lions, facing death for his faith. He didn't know how God would deliver him, but he trusted. And God didn't just save him, he shut the mouths of lions, turned a den of danger into a testimony of triumph. Your waiting has been your den, chosen one, and God's message is your deliverance. He's turning your trials into triumphs, your waiting into wonders. This moment is your turning point. The answers you've sought aren't just ideas, they're realities, taking shape in your life. God is moving mountains you thought were immovable, opening paths you thought were blocked, giving you clarity you thought was out of reach. You're not just receiving a message, you're stepping into a season where his promises become your reality, where his voice becomes your guide. Your waiting has taught you something powerful. Faith isn't about seeing the whole path. It's about taking the next step. God's message is your next step. Your call to move forward, to trust that he's already gone ahead of you. The answers are here, not as a distant hope, but as a present truth. You're ready, chosen one, to walk in the purpose he's prepared, to live the life he's promised. Every moment of your waiting was a brushstroke on God's canvas. Every tear, every prayer, every act of faith was paint, creating a picture of his faithfulness. Now, the canvas is turning toward the light, and you're seeing the beauty of what he's been creating. This message is the unveiling, the moment where you see that your life is a work of art, crafted by the Creator himself. Look at Mary, chosen to carry the Savior, facing a calling that seemed impossible. She didn't have all the answers, but she had faith, and her yes to God changed the world. Your waiting has been your yes, your trust in his plan despite the unknown. Now, God is saying, watch what I do with your faith. Your life is about to become a miracle, a testimony, a story that points others to him. This message is your anchor, grounding you in God's truth as you step into this new season. It's not about chasing what's next, it's about embracing what's now. The answers are unfolding, The doors are opening. The purpose is clear. You're not just a person with a dream. You're a chosen one with a destiny, and God is leading you into it with every step you take. Chosen ones, the message you've been waiting for is a divine key, unlocking the chains that have held you back. God is declaring that the barriers, fear, doubt, circumstances are crumbling. Your long season of waiting wasn't a delay. It was a forging, a process where He shaped you into someone who could carry the weight of His promises. Now, that key is turning, and the doors to your purpose, your peace, your prosperity are swinging open, revealing a path lit by His glory. You've walked through seasons where the world seemed to press against you, haven't you? Moments when every step felt heavy, when the voices of doubt, your own or others, tried to drown out God's whisper. But you kept walking. You kept trusting. That resilience, that quiet strength, was God building a foundation in you. His message now is clear. That foundation is ready, and He's building something extraordinary on it, something that will stand as a testament to His faithfulness. Picture a seed breaking through concrete. It seems impossible. How could something so small overcome something so hard? Yet, with time, with persistence, the seed splits the stone. That's you, chosen one. Your faith, your prayers, your refusal to give up have cracked the hardest obstacles. God's message is the sunlight pouring through those cracks, nourishing you, calling you to grow into the fullness of what He's planned. Your waiting has been like a chrysalis, a hidden place where transformation was happening, unseen by the world. You didn't always feel it, did you? Some days, it felt like stagnation, like nothing was changing. But God was working, reshaping you from the inside out. Now, His message is the moment you break free, wings unfolding, ready to soar into a life that reflects His power and purpose. Think of Gideon, hiding in a winepress, threshing wheat in fear. He didn't see himself as a warrior, but God did. One word from God, mighty warrior, and Gideon's life changed. Your waiting has been your winepress, a place of humility, of preparation. God's message to you now is your call to rise as His warrior, not with swords, but with faith, ready to lead, to impact, to claim the victory He's promised. This message isn't just about what you receive, it's about what you release. God is freeing you from old patterns, old fears, old limits. The answers you've been waiting for are also permissions to let go of what no longer serves you, to step away from what holds you back, to embrace the freedom of His plan. You're not just stepping into blessings, you're stepping out of chains, into a life where His truth sets you free. Your journey has been like a riverbed, dry for seasons, waiting for the rain. You've felt the parched earth, the longing for something to fill you, to flow through you. God's message is the rain, falling now, turning your dry places into streams of abundance. It's not just about filling your life, it's about overflowing, touching everyone around you, becoming a source of life and hope for others. If this truth is stirring your heart, type 777 inches, the comments below. Let it be your declaration that you're ready to receive God's answers, ready to walk in His freedom. Hit that like button to share this message with other chosen ones who need to hear it. And subscribe to join thousands of souls standing together in faith. Your action strengthens this community, amplifying the light we carry. Imagine a tapestry, threads of every color woven together, each one telling a story. Your life is that tapestry, and every moment of waiting, every trial, every prayer is a thread. God's message is the moment the tapestry is held up to the light, revealing a picture more beautiful than you could have imagined. It's not just about the answers you receive, it's about the story they tell, a story of God's faithfulness woven through every part of your life. You've carried a spark in your heart, haven't you? A flicker of hope, even in the darkest moments. That spark wasn't your imagination. It was God's promise, burning quietly, waiting for its time. Now, His message is the wind that turns that spark into a flame, lighting up your path, warming your spirit, drawing others to its glow. You're not just receiving answers, you're becoming a light that others will follow. Think of Elijah, waiting by the brook, trusting God for daily provision. The ravens brought him food, the brook gave him water, but then the brook dried up. Did God abandon him? No. He led Elijah to a new place, a new provision, a new purpose. Your waiting has been your brook, and God's message is your call to move, to trust that what's next is even greater than what sustained you before. This message is your invitation to see differently, not just to look at your life, but to see through God's eyes. The answers coming to you now aren't just solutions, they're revelations, showing you who you are, what you're capable of, what God has placed in you. You're not just finding clarity, you're discovering a vision, a purpose that's been waiting for this moment to unfold. Your waiting has been a refining fire, burning away what doesn't belong, leaving only what's true, what's strong, what's eternal. God's message is the moment the fire cools, revealing gold, your character, your faith, your purpose. You're not just stepping into answers, you're stepping into a version of yourself that's been shaped by His hands, ready to carry His glory. Picture a ship, anchored in the harbor, waiting for the wind. You've been that ship, safe but still, longing to sail. God's message is the wind, filling your sails, pushing you toward open waters. It's not just about reaching a destination. It's about the journey, the freedom of moving with His Spirit, the adventure of living out His plan. You're not just leaving the harbor, you're charting a course that will inspire others to sail. The answers God is bringing are like stars appearing in the night sky. One by one, they light up, guiding you, showing you the way. You don't need to see the whole constellation to trust it's there. Each answer, each moment of clarity, is a star, pointing you toward a future where His promises shine brightly, where your purpose becomes a map for others to follow. Think of Nehemiah, hearing of Jerusalem's broken walls, his heart heavy with a burden he couldn't ignore. He prayed, he waited, and then God moved, giving him favor, resources, a mission. Your waiting has been your prayer, your burden for something greater. God's message is your favor, your resources, your mission. You're not just rebuilding your life. You're rebuilding something that will stand for generations. This message is your call to stand tall, not to shrink back, not to doubt, but to rise in the confidence of God's promises. The answers you've waited for are here, not as a trickle, but as a flood, washing away the old, bringing in the new. You're not just receiving, you're becoming, stepping into a life where every moment is charged with His purpose, every step a declaration of His faithfulness. Your life is like a book, each chapter written by your choices, your faith, your waiting. God's message is the turning of the page, the start of a chapter where the story takes flight. The struggles of the past were real, but they were not the end. They were the setup for a plot twist, a moment where God's hand writes victory, purpose, and joy into every line of your life. Imagine a phoenix rising from ashes, its wings catching fire with new life. That's you, chosen one. Your waiting was the ashes, the moments when it felt like everything was lost. God's message is the fire, igniting you, lifting you, transforming you into something radiant, something unstoppable. You're not just rising, you're soaring, carrying his light into a world that needs it. The answers God is bringing are not just for today, they're for tomorrow, for next year, for generations. They're seeds planted now that will grow into trees of blessing, offering shade to others, bearing fruit for those who come after you. You're not just receiving a message, you're planting a legacy, a testimony of God's goodness that will outlive you. Think of Deborah, a prophetess leading Israel in a time of fear. She didn't wait for permission, she trusted God's call. Her courage, her wisdom, turned a nation's fear into victory. Your waiting has been your preparation, and God's message is your call to lead, to speak, to act. You're not just stepping into answers, you're stepping into authority, ready to change the world around you. This message is your cornerstone, the foundation of a new season. It's not about rebuilding what was, it's about building what will be. God is handing you the tools, the wisdom, the strength to create something lasting, something true. You're not just receiving answers, you're constructing a life that reflects His glory, a life that others will look to and see Him. Chosen ones, the message you've been waiting for is a divine compass, pointing you toward a horizon where God's promises are no longer dreams, but realities. He's declaring that your season of wandering, of searching for direction, is over. The path you've longed to find is now clear, lit by His truth, paved with His purpose. You've carried questions, doubts, and hopes through the wilderness. But now God is guiding you to a place where every step feels certain, every moment filled with His presence. You've known moments when the way forward felt hidden, haven't you? Times when you prayed for guidance, for a sign, for anything to show you the next step. Those moments weren't God turning away, they were Him drawing you closer, teaching you to trust His voice above the chaos. Now, His message is your map, unfolding before you, revealing a journey where every turn leads to His plan, every path to His purpose. Picture a lantern in a storm, its light steady despite the wind and rain. That's been your faith, chosen one, glowing through the tempests of life, unshaken by the gales of doubt or fear. God's message is the fuel that makes your light burn brighter, casting its glow further, guiding you and others through the darkness. You're not just finding your way, you're becoming a beacon, a source of hope for those still lost in the storm. Your waiting has been like clay in a potter's hands, molded through pressure, shaped through time. You didn't always see the purpose in the process, did you? Some days it felt like being pressed too hard, stretched too thin. But God was crafting you, forming you into a vessel for His glory. His message now is the moment the potter lifts the clay from the wheel, revealing a masterpiece ready to hold His blessings, ready to pour them out to the world. Think of Jonah, running from God's call, swallowed by a whale, lost in the depths. His waiting wasn't comfortable, it was a struggle, a reckoning. But when God spoke again, Jonah didn't just hear a message. He became one, preaching to a city, saving souls. Your waiting has been your whale, chosen one, a place of transformation. God's message is your release, calling you to carry His truth to others, to live out a purpose that changes lives. This message isn't just about finding answers, it's about finding your voice. God is awakening something in you, a boldness to speak, to act, to stand in His truth. The clarity you're receiving isn't just for your heart, it's for your words, your actions, your life. You're not just hearing His plan, you're being equipped to proclaim it, to live it in a way that shakes the ground beneath you and those around you. Your journey has been like a song, its notes written in moments of silence, struggle, and faith. Each pause, each high, each low was part of the melody God was composing. Now, His message is the crescendo, the moment the music rises, filling the air with purpose, drawing others to listen. You're not just singing this song, you're inviting others to join, to hear the harmony of God's promises coming alive. If this truth is stirring your soul, type 777 inches the comments below. Let it be your declaration that you're ready to walk this path, ready to carry God's message. Hit that like button to share this light with other chosen ones, and subscribe to join thousands of souls united in faith, amplifying His truth across the world. Your action strengthens this community, lifting us all toward His purpose. Imagine a bridge spanning a great chasm, built stone by stone over years. That's your life, chosen one. Each moment of waiting, each act of faith, a stone laid in place. God's message is the final stone, completing the bridge, connecting where you've been to where you're going. You're not just crossing over, you're leading others across, showing them the way to a life rooted in His promises. You've carried a hunger for truth, haven't you? A longing to know why, to understand your place in God's plan. That hunger wasn't a weakness, it was a gift, driving you to seek Him, to trust Him, to wait for Him. Now, His message is the bread that satisfies, filling you with clarity, strength, and purpose. You're not just fed, you're becoming a source of nourishment for others, sharing the truth you've received. Think of Paul, struck blind on the road to Damascus, waiting in darkness for God's voice. That blindness wasn't punishment, it was preparation, a moment to strip away his old vision and give him God's sight. Your waiting has been your Damascus, a time of realignment. God's message is your sight restored, revealing a world where His purpose shines, where you see clearly the path He's set before you. This message is your foundation, not for a house, but for a fortress. God is building something in you that won't be shaken by trials, by doubt, by the world's noise. The answers you're receiving are stones, strong and unyielding, forming a life that stands firm, a testimony that endures. You're not just receiving clarity, you're becoming a stronghold, a place where others find refuge in God's truth. Your waiting has been like a forge, heating, hammering, shaping you into something stronger. The fire was intense, wasn't it? The blows felt heavy. But God was the blacksmith, crafting a weapon not of war, but of peace, of purpose, of power. His message is the moment the sword is lifted from the forge, sharp and ready, gleaming with His glory, prepared to cut through darkness and bring light. Picture a tree, rooted deep, standing through seasons of drought and storm. Its roots grew stronger in the dry times, didn't they? Its branches reached higher in the tempests. That's you, chosen one rooted in faith, growing through waiting. God's message is the rain, the sunlight, the season of growth that makes your branches heavy with fruit. Your life a shelter for others seeking His shade. The answers God is bringing are like a river breaking through a dam, rushing forward with unstoppable force. You've felt the pressure building, the longing for release. Now, His message is the breach, letting His promises flow freely, flooding your life with opportunity, with peace, with purpose. You're not just standing in the river, you're becoming part of its current, carrying His blessings to others. Think of Rahab, hiding spies in Jericho, risking everything for a God she barely knew. Her waiting was a gamble, a step of faith in a promise she couldn't see, but God saw her, and her faith made her part of His story. Your waiting has been your Jericho, a place of risk and trust. God's message is your promise fulfilled, weaving you into a story that will echo through generations. This message is your wind, filling the sails of your life, pushing you toward uncharted waters. You've been in the harbor, safe but still, longing to move. Now, God is calling you to sail, to trust his direction, to embrace the adventure of his plan. You're not just moving forward, you're exploring a destiny that's vast, wild, and filled with his wonders. Your life is like a mosaic, each piece a moment, a choice, a prayer. The waiting felt like scattered fragments, didn't it? But God was arranging them, fitting them together. His message is the moment the mosaic is revealed, a picture of beauty, of purpose, of his handiwork. You're not just seeing the pieces, you're seeing the masterpiece. And it's drawing others to marvel at his work. Imagine a flame, small but steady, burning through the coldest nights. That's been your faith, chosen one, holding fast when the world tried to snuff it out. God's message is the oxygen that makes it roar, turning your quiet flame into a fire that warms, that lights, that transforms. You're not just carrying a spark, you're igniting a movement, a revival of hope and truth. The answers God is bringing are like keys to a locked chest, each one opening a new treasure of his plan. You've carried that chest, heavy with mystery, waiting for the day it would open. Now, his message is turning the keys, revealing riches of wisdom, opportunity, and purpose. You're not just unlocking answers, you're discovering a wealth that will bless you and those around you. Think of Lazarus, wrapped in grave clothes, waiting in the tomb. His waiting wasn't the end, it was the prelude to a miracle. God's voice called him out, and he rose. Your waiting has been your tomb, a place of stillness, of trust. God's message is your call to rise, to step out of the grave, to live a life that declares his power to bring life from death. This message is your anchor in the storm, holding you steady as God's promises unfold. It's not about calming the waves, it's about standing firm in them, knowing his truth keeps you grounded. The answers you're receiving are not just solutions, they're strengths, equipping you to face any tempest, to shine as a light no storm can extinguish. Your waiting has been like a sculptor's chisel, carving away what doesn't belong, revealing the image God placed within you. Each strike was precise, wasn't it? Though it hurt. Now, his message is the unveiling, showing you and the world the beauty he's been crafting. You're not just receiving answers, you're stepping into a life that reflects his artistry, his glory. Chosen ones, the message you've been waiting for is a divine spark, igniting the purpose buried deep within you. God is declaring that the embers of your dreams, the ones you thought had faded, are about to blaze into a fire that lights up your life and the lives around you. Your season of waiting wasn't a time of loss, it was a time of kindling, where God gathered every moment of faith, every whispered hope, to fuel a flame that will burn brightly for his glory. You've walked through days when the spark felt dim, haven't you? Moments when the weight of unanswered prayers made you wonder if God was still working. But every time you chose to trust, every time you held on to hope, you were adding fuel to that fire. God's message is the breath that fans it into flame, turning your quiet faith into a roaring testimony, a light that no darkness can overcome. Picture a mountain climber scaling a peak in the dead of night. Each step is uncertain, each grip a test of faith. That's been you, chosen one, climbing through the darkness of waiting, trusting the path even when you couldn't see it. Now God's message is the dawn breaking over the summit, revealing a view that takes your breath away, a life of purpose, of promise, of his unshakable plan unfolding before you. Your waiting has been like a tapestry weaver's loom, each thread of struggle and faith carefully placed. You didn't always see the pattern, did you? Some threads felt out of place, some moments too tangled to make sense. But God's message is the moment the loom stops and the tapestry is lifted, showing a design so intricate, so beautiful, that it could only be his handiwork. Think of Jeremiah, called to speak truth in a world that didn't want to hear it. His waiting was lonely, his mission heavy, but God's word was a fire in his bones, unstoppable. Your waiting has been your fire, burning away doubt, forging your resolve. God's message is your release, calling you to speak, to act, to carry his truth with a boldness that changes everything. This message isn't just about receiving answers, it's about becoming a messenger. God is equipping you to carry his words, not just in your heart, but into the world. The clarity you're stepping into is a voice, a calling to speak life, to share hope, to show others what God can do. You're not just hearing his plan, you're becoming a vessel for it, a light that draws others to him. Your journey has been like a river cutting through a canyon, carving a path where none existed. The waiting felt slow, didn't it? The obstacles seemed immovable, but every moment of faith was a current, eroding the barriers, shaping a way forward. God's message is the moment the river breaks free, flowing with power, carrying you and others toward a destiny of abundance and purpose. Imagine a clock, its hands moving slowly, each tick a moment of waiting, each second a step of faith. You've watched those hands, wondering when they'd reach the hour of breakthrough. God's message is the chime, the moment the clock strikes, announcing that your time has come. You're not just marking time anymore, you're stepping into a season where every moment counts, every action aligns with his plan. You've carried a vision, haven't you? A glimpse of something bigger, something beyond what the world could offer. That vision wasn't a fantasy, it was God planting a seed of purpose in your heart. His message is the water, the sunlight, the moment that seed begins to grow, reaching toward a future where his promises bloom in every part of your life. Think of Elizabeth, waiting through years of barrenness, holding on to God's promise despite the world's whispers. Her waiting wasn't empty. It was expectant, filled with faith. When God's time came, she didn't just receive a child, she birthed John, a forerunner of the Savior. Your waiting has been your expectancy, and God's message is your John, a promise fulfilled that prepares the way for greater things. This message is your cornerstone, anchoring you in a season of building. God is laying a foundation for a life that won't waver, a purpose that won't falter. The answers you're receiving are bricks, each one placed with precision, creating something strong, something lasting. You're not just finding clarity, you're constructing a legacy that will stand as a testament to his faithfulness. Your waiting has been like a miner digging through rock, searching for treasure. The work was hard, wasn't it? The darkness felt endless, but every swing of the pickaxe was faith, every effort, trust. God's message is the moment you strike gold, revealing riches of purpose, wisdom, and opportunity that were hidden just beneath the surface. Waiting for this moment to shine, picture a kite tethered to the ground, waiting for the wind. You've been that kite, held back by circumstances, by delays, by the weight of the world. God's message is the gust that lifts you, sending you soaring into a sky of freedom and possibility. You're not just rising, you're dancing with his spirit, moving with a grace that inspires others to take flight. The answers God is bringing are like stars charting a course through the night. You've looked up, longing for direction, trusting they were there, even when clouds hid them. Now, his message clears the sky, revealing a constellation of purpose, each star an answer, each point of light a step toward your destiny. You're not just following a path, you're navigating by his eternal design. Think of Joshua, standing before the Jordan River, waiting for God's command. The water was high, the way impossible, but he trusted. When God spoke, the river parted, and a nation crossed into the promised land. Your waiting has been your Jordan, a barrier that tested your faith. God's message is your parting of the waters, opening a way to the life He's promised, a land flowing with His blessings. This message is your spark, setting ablaze the dry wood of your waiting. It's not about starting over, it's about igniting what's been prepared. The clarity you're receiving is fire, burning through doubt, lighting up your purpose. You're not just receiving answers, you're carrying a flame that will warm hearts, illuminate paths, and transform lives around you. Your life is like a symphony, each note of waiting, faith, and perseverance played in perfect time. You didn't always hear the music, did you? Some moments felt silent, others discordant, but God was the conductor, guiding every note toward harmony. His message is the moment the orchestra rises, filling the air with a melody of purpose that moves everyone who hears it. Imagine a lock, intricate and unyielding, guarding a treasure you've longed to reach. Your waiting was the search for the key, each prayer a turn, each act of faith a click. God's message is the final turn, the moment the lock opens, revealing a wealth of blessings, wisdom, and opportunities. You're not just unlocking answers, you're stepping into a vault of His promises, ready to share them with the world. You've carried a weight, haven't you? A burden of questions, of hopes deferred, of dreams that felt too big. That weight wasn't meant to crush you. It was meant to strengthen you, to build muscles of faith and resilience. Now, God's message is your release, lifting the burden, freeing you to run toward a future where His plans unfold with every step. Think of Peter, stepping out onto the water, trusting Jesus' call despite the waves. His waiting was in the boat, watching, wondering if he could dare to move. When Jesus spoke, Peter didn't just hear a message, he walked on water, defying what seemed impossible. Your waiting has been your boat, and God's message is your call to step out, to walk on the impossible, to live a life that defies the world's limits. This message is your lens, bringing the blurred edges of your life into focus. It's not just about seeing answers, it's about seeing yourself as God does, chosen, capable, destined for greatness. The clarity you're receiving sharpens your vision, showing you opportunities you missed, paths you didn't notice, purposes you're ready to embrace. Your waiting has been like a seed buried in winter's frost, hidden, silent, but alive. The cold was harsh, wasn't it? The darkness long, but God was nurturing you, protecting you until the time was right. His message is the spring, the warmth that calls you to break through, to grow into a life that bears fruit for His kingdom, a life that others will see and seek. Picture a warrior, training in the shadows, sharpening their sword for a battle yet to come. That's been you, chosen one, honed by waiting, strengthened by faith. God's message is your call to the battlefield, not to fight with anger, but with purpose, wielding His truth as your weapon, cutting through lies, bringing light to those still in darkness. The answers God is bringing are like a river's source, high in the mountains, pure and powerful. You've been downstream, waiting for the flow. Now, His message is the moment the river begins, rushing toward you, filling your life with clarity, strength, and purpose. You're not just receiving water, you're becoming part of the river, carrying His blessings to a thirsty world. Chosen ones. The message you've been waiting for is a divine wind, sweeping through your life, clearing away the dust of doubt and delay. God is proclaiming that the haze of uncertainty you've walked through is lifting, and His purpose is coming into sharp focus. Your season of waiting wasn't a pause, it was a preparation, a time when He was aligning every detail, every moment, to lead you into a future where His promises shine like stars in a clear sky. You've felt the weight of the unknown, haven't you? Days when the path seemed shrouded, when you wondered if you were moving in the right direction. Those moments weren't God's silence. They were His whispers, guiding you, teaching you to trust His timing. Now, His message is a gust, blowing open the windows of your life, letting in light, air, and opportunity, showing you a way forward that's bold, clear, and filled with His power. Picture a sailboat caught in a calm, its sails limp, waiting for movement. That's been your waiting, chosen one, still, expectant, trusting for the wind. God's message is the breeze that fills your sails, pushing you toward open waters, toward a horizon where His plans unfold. You're not just drifting now, you're sailing, carried by His Spirit, moving with purpose toward a destination only He could design. Your waiting has been like a painter's canvas, blank and waiting for the first stroke. You didn't always see the picture, did you? Some days, it felt like an empty space, a void of progress. But God was mixing the colors, preparing the brush. His message is the moment He begins to paint, creating a masterpiece of purpose, beauty, and impact that will draw others to see His handiwork in you. Think of Samuel, a boy hearing God's voice in the night, unsure at first, waiting for clarity. His waiting wasn't wasted, it was a tuning, a moment when God taught him to listen. When the call came, Samuel didn't just hear, he answered, becoming a prophet who spoke God's truth. Your waiting has been your tuning, and God's message is your call to speak, to act, to carry His voice into a world that needs it. This message isn't just about receiving answers, it's about stepping into authority. God is giving you a mantle, a responsibility to lead, to guide, to shine. The clarity you're receiving is more than understanding its power, equipping you to walk in His truth, to stand as a pillar of faith for others. You're not just finding your way, you're showing the way, becoming a leader in His kingdom. Your journey has been like a seed carried by the wind, searching for fertile ground. The waiting felt aimless at times, didn't it? Like you were drifting without a place to land. But God was directing every gust, guiding you to the exact spot where you'd take root. His message is the moment you land, sinking into soil rich with His promises, ready to grow into a life that bears fruit for generations. Imagine a lighthouse keeper, tending the flame through long, dark nights. That's you, chosen one, keeping faith alive when the world was cloaked in shadow. God's message is the dawn, when the light you've tended breaks through, guiding ships, other lives to safety. You're not just holding a flame, you're becoming a lighthouse, a steady presence that others rely on, a beacon of His truth. You've carried a longing for purpose, haven't you? A deep desire to know why you're here, what you're meant to do. That longing wasn't a burden, it was God's pull, drawing you toward His plan. His message is the answer, revealing your place in His story, showing you that your life is a thread in a tapestry far greater than you imagined. You're not just living, you're weaving a legacy of faith. Think of Mary Magdalene, waiting through grief, standing by the tomb, her heart heavy with loss. She didn't know the resurrection was moments away, but she stayed, she trusted. When Jesus spoke her name, everything changed. Your waiting has been your vigil, and God's message is your name spoken, calling you into a new reality where His promises live, where His purpose shines. This message is your cornerstone, the foundation of a life built on His truth. It's not about patching up the old, it's about building something new, something unshakable. The answers you're receiving are stones, each one solid, each one placed by God's hand. You're not just finding clarity, you're constructing a life that stands firm, a testimony that others will see and seek. Your waiting has been like a blacksmith's fire, heating the raw metal of your soul. The flames were hot, weren't they? The process intense, but God was shaping you, forging something strong, something enduring. His message is the moment the metal cools, revealing a blade sharp with purpose, ready to cut through lies, to carve a path for his light. Picture a garden waking to spring, buds opening after a long winter. That's your life, chosen one, dormant in waiting, but alive with potential. God's message is the warmth, the rain, calling those buds to bloom. You're not just growing, you're flourishing, becoming a garden where others find beauty, rest, and the touch of his presence. The answers God is bringing are like a melody, each note a promise, each chord a piece of his plan. You've heard fragments, haven't you? Snatches of hope in the silence. Now, his message is the full song, rising in your heart, filling your life with harmony. You're not just hearing it, you're singing it. Your life, a hymn that draws others to worship. Think of Andrew, leaving his nets to follow Jesus, stepping into a call he didn't fully understand. His waiting was in the ordinary, the daily grind of fishing. But when Jesus spoke, Andrew didn't hesitate, he followed, and his life became a cornerstone of the early church. Your waiting has been your nets, and God's message is your call to follow, to step into a purpose that changes everything. This message is your wind, stirring the still air of your life, carrying you toward new horizons. It's not about forcing your way forward. It's about moving with his spirit, letting his breath guide you. The clarity you're receiving is a current, lifting you above obstacles, flowing through you to touch others with his grace. Your life is like a book, its pages written in moments of faith, struggle, and hope. The waiting felt like blank pages, didn't it? Like a story stuck in pause. But God was writing, crafting a narrative only he could see. His message is the moment the pages turn, revealing a chapter of triumph, of purpose, of a story that others will read and find hope. Imagine a flame dancing in a lantern, steady through the darkest nights. That's been your faith, chosen one, burning when the world tried to snuff it out. God's message is the moment the lantern is lifted, its light spilling out, illuminating paths, guiding others. You're not just carrying a flame, you're becoming a fire, warming hearts, lighting the way for his kingdom. You've carried a question in your soul, haven't you? A quiet wondering about what God has planned, why the wait was so long. That question wasn't doubt, it was faith, seeking understanding. His message is the answer, not just words, but a revelation, showing you your place in his story, your role in his plan. You're not just receiving clarity, you're stepping into a calling that will echo through time. Think of Thomas, waiting for proof, wrestling with doubt after the resurrection. His waiting wasn't weakness, it was a journey to deeper faith. When Jesus showed him the scars, Thomas didn't just see, he believed. His life transformed. Your waiting has been your seeking, and God's message is your proof, your moment to believe, to step into a faith that moves mountains. This message is your lens, sharpening the edges of your vision, showing you what's always been there. It's not about seeing new things, it's about seeing with new eyes, recognizing opportunities, connections, purposes that God has placed in your path. You're not just finding answers, you're discovering a world where his plan is alive, vibrant, and ready for you to embrace. Your waiting has been like a sculptor's block of stone, untouched, waiting for the first strike. The silence felt heavy, didn't it? Like nothing was happening. But God was the artist, seeing the statue within. His message is the chisel's first cut, revealing the shape of your purpose, crafting you into a work of art that reflects his glory, that others will see and marvel at. Picture a riverbed, dry and cracked, waiting for the flood. That's been your season of waiting, chosen one, parched, expectant, trusting for rain. God's message is the deluge, filling the riverbed, turning it into a mighty stream. You're not just receiving water, you're becoming a current, carrying His blessings, flowing with purpose to nourish a thirsty world. The answers God is bringing are like keys to a hidden door, each one unlocking a new piece of His plan. You've felt that door, haven't you? Sensed its presence, longed to open it. His message is the moment the keys turn, swinging the door wide, revealing a room filled with His promises. You're not just stepping through, you're inviting others in, sharing the treasures of His purpose. Chosen ones, the message you've been waiting for is a divine scroll, unrolling before you with God's promises written in His own hand. He's declaring that the chapters of waiting, of wondering, of wrestling with the unknown are giving way to a story of triumph, where every word He spoke over your life begins to take shape. Your season of waiting wasn't a detour, it was the ink drying, the pages being prepared for a narrative that will shine with His glory. You've walked through moments when the story felt unfinished, haven't you? Times when the plot seemed unclear, when you wondered if the next chapter would ever come. Those moments weren't God's absence, they were His careful writing, crafting a tale only He could tell. Now, His message is the turning of the page, revealing a chapter where His promises unfold, where your faith becomes the hero of a story that inspires others. Picture a ship breaking through fog, its captain trusting the compass despite the haze. That's been you, chosen one, navigating through the uncertainty of waiting, holding fast to faith when the way was unclear. God's message is the clearing of the fog, revealing a sea of possibilities, a course set by His hand. You're not just sailing, you're charting a path that others will follow, guided by His light. Your waiting has been like a potter's wheel, spinning, shaping clay under gentle hands. The process felt dizzying at times, didn't it? Like you were going in circles. But God was molding you, forming a vessel for His purpose. His message is the moment the wheel slows, lifting you as a finished work, ready to hold His blessings, ready to pour them out to a world in need. Think of Ezekiel, standing in a valley of dry bones, waiting for God's word to breathe life. His waiting wasn't hopeless, it was expectant, trusting in a promise he couldn't yet see. When God spoke, bones became an army, alive with His power. Your waiting has been your valley, and God's message is His breath, bringing life to your dreams, raising you to stand as a force for His kingdom. This message isn't just about receiving answers, it's about becoming a conduit. God is pouring His truth through you, not just to fill your heart, but to flow into others. The clarity you're stepping into is a current, carrying His love, His wisdom, His hope. You're not just hearing His plan, you're channeling it, becoming a riverbed through which His blessings reach those around you. Your journey has been like a tapestry needle, threading through fabric, stitching moments of faith and waiting. Each stitch felt small, didn't it? Like it couldn't possibly matter, but God was weaving, creating a design only He could see. His message is the moment the tapestry is turned, revealing a pattern of purpose, a work of art that draws others to see His handiwork in you. Imagine a flame kindled in a hearth, burning quietly through cold nights. That's your faith, chosen one, glowing when the world was dark, sustained by trust in God's promise. His message is the moment the hearth blazes, warming the whole house, inviting others to gather. You're not just tending a fire, you're igniting a gathering, a place where hearts find comfort in His truth. You've carried a seed of hope, haven't you? A quiet belief that something greater was coming, even when the ground felt barren. That seed wasn't planted by chance, it was God's gift, sown in your heart. His message is the rain, the sun, the moment that seed breaks open, growing into a tree of purpose that offers shade, fruit, and strength to those who come near. Think of Esther, waiting in the shadows of a palace, unsure of her role until God's moment came. Her waiting wasn't passive, it was preparation, aligning her heart with his plan. When she stepped forward, she saved a nation. Your waiting has been your palace, and God's message is your moment to step forward, to act, to carry a purpose that changes lives. This message is your cornerstone, grounding a life built for His glory. It's not about repairing cracks, it's about building a new structure, one that stands tall, unshaken by storms. The answers you're receiving are pillars, each one strong, each one placed by God. You're not just finding clarity, you're raising a sanctuary, a place where others encounter His presence through you. Your waiting has been like a miner's tunnel, carved through hard earth, seeking treasure. The darkness was heavy, wasn't it? The labor exhausting. But every swing of faith was progress. Every prayer, a step deeper. God's message is the moment you find the vein of gold, a wealth of purpose and promise that lights up the tunnel, showing you and others the riches He's prepared. Picture a bird, caged but singing, its voice carrying beyond bars. That's you, chosen one, praising through the confinement of waiting, trusting despite the limits. God's message is the moment the cage opens, setting you free to soar, your song now reaching the world. You're not just flying, you're calling others to rise. Your freedom, a melody that inspires hope. The answers God is bringing are like a map drawn with stars, guiding you through uncharted lands. You've longed for direction, haven't you? For a sign to show the way. His message is the compass, aligning you with His path. Each star an answer, each point a promise. You're not just following a route, you're blazing a trail, leading others toward His truth. Think of Philip, sent to a desert road, waiting for God's purpose to unfold. He didn't know why, but he obeyed. When he met the Ethiopian, his waiting became a mission, his obedience a moment of salvation. Your waiting has been your desert road, and God's message is your encounter, sending you to share His truth, to touch lives in ways only you can. This message is your wind, stirring the sails of your soul, pushing you toward new shores. It's not about forcing the journey, it's about trusting His breeze, letting it carry you. The clarity you're receiving is a current, lifting you over obstacles, flowing through you to bring His blessings to others. You're not just moving, you're sailing with purpose, guided by His hand. Your life is like a canvas, painted with moments of faith, struggle, and trust. The waiting felt like bare patches, didn't it? Like the picture was incomplete, but God was the artist, choosing each color with care. His message is the final stroke, revealing a painting of purpose that others will see and marvel at, a masterpiece that points to His glory. Imagine a river, dammed for years, its waters held back, waiting to flow. That's your life, chosen one, pent up with potential, ready to burst forth. God's message is the moment the dam breaks, releasing a flood of blessings, purpose, and power. You're not just flowing, you're rushing forward, carving new paths, bringing life to dry places. You've carried a spark of destiny, haven't you? A flicker of something greater, even when the world tried to dim it. That spark was God's promise, glowing in your heart. His message is the oxygen, turning that spark into a flame that lights up your life and beyond. You're not just burning, you're blazing, a fire that warms, illuminates, and transforms. Think of Barnabas, encouraging Paul when others doubted him, waiting for God's plan to unfold through a man others rejected. His waiting was faith, his trust a bridge to a greater purpose. Your waiting has been your encouragement, and God's message is your Paul, a purpose unfolding that will change lives through your faith and action. This message is your lens, focusing the scattered light of your waiting into a beam of clarity. It's not about seeing everything at once. It's about seeing what matters, recognizing the steps, the doors, the moments God has prepared. You're not just gaining answers, you're gaining vision, seeing your life through His eyes, ready to walk in His truth. Your waiting has been like a seed in frozen ground, waiting for spring's warmth. The cold was harsh, wasn't it? The wait long. But God was preserving you, protecting that seed. His message is the thaw, the moment life breaks through, growing into a plant that bears fruit for His kingdom, a life that others will see and seek. Picture a warrior, forging armor in the heat of a furnace. That's you, chosen one, shaped by the fire of waiting, strengthened by faith's hammer. God's message is the moment the armor is complete, fitting you perfectly, ready for battle. You're not just armed, you're unstoppable, clad in His truth, ready to stand for His purpose. The answers God is bringing are like a song, its notes rising from the silence of your waiting. You've heard faint echoes, haven't you? Hints of melody in the quiet. His message is the full chorus, filling your life with harmony, drawing others to listen. You're not just hearing the song, you're singing it. Your life a hymn that lifts hearts to Him. Chosen ones, the message you've been waiting for is a divine trumpet, sounding a call that echoes through your soul. God is proclaiming that the silence of your waiting is broken, and His voice is now leading you into a season where every step resonates with His purpose. Your time of standing still, of wondering when the call would come, has ended. This is the moment where His sound awakens your destiny, stirring you to march toward a future vibrant with His promises. You've known moments when the quiet felt deafening, haven't you? Times when you longed for a word, a sign, anything to break the stillness. Those moments weren't God's absence, they were His pause, a sacred space where He tuned your heart to hear Him clearly. Now, His message is the blast that shatters the silence, calling you to rise, to move, to claim the ground He's prepared for you, with boldness and faith. Picture a dawn breaking over a battlefield, its light revealing the path to victory. That's your life, chosen one, poised for battle, armed with faith through the long night of waiting. God's message is the sunrise, illuminating the field, showing you the way to triumph. You're not just fighting, you're advancing, claiming territory for His kingdom. Your every step, a declaration of His power. Your waiting has been like a weaver's shuttle, moving back and forth, threading faith through the fabric of your life. Each pass felt repetitive, didn't it? Like progress was slow, but God was crafting a pattern, a design of purpose. His message is the moment the cloth is lifted, revealing a tapestry of strength and beauty, a work that others will see and know as His handiwork. Think of Moses, waiting 40 years in the desert, a fugitive tending sheep, far from his calling. His waiting wasn't exile, it was training, a time when God shaped a shepherd into a deliverer. When the burning bush spoke, Moses stepped into destiny. Your waiting has been your desert, and God's message is your burning bush, calling you to lead, to deliver, to carry His freedom to others. This message isn't just about receiving answers, it's about becoming a herald. God is entrusting you with His words, not just to hold, but to proclaim. The clarity you're stepping into is a trumpet in your hands, sounding His truth, rallying others to His purpose. You're not just hearing His plan, you're announcing it. Your life, a call that awakens hearts to His kingdom. Your journey has been like a river carving a canyon, cutting through stone with persistent faith. The work was slow, wasn't it? The obstacles unyielding. But every moment of trust was a current, shaping a path. God's message is the moment the river reaches the plain, flowing freely, bringing life to barren places. You're not just moving, you're transforming landscapes, nourishing souls with His grace. Imagine a lantern lit in a storm, its flame unwavering despite the wind. That's your faith, chosen one. Steady through the gales of waiting, burning when hope seemed faint. God's message is the moment the storm clears, your light now shining far, guiding others to safety. You're not just holding a flame, you're a lighthouse, a steady glow that others trust, a beacon of His hope. You've carried a vision in your heart, haven't you? A dream that felt too big, too distant, yet never faded. That vision was God's seed, planted deep within you. His message is the moment it sprouts, breaking through the soil of waiting, reaching for His light. You're not just dreaming, you're growing, becoming a tree of purpose whose branches shelter and feed those around you. Think of David, waiting in the fields, a shepherd boy with a king's anointing. His waiting wasn't idle, it was practice, slaying lions and bears, preparing for Goliath. When God's time came, David didn't just step into a crown, he stepped into a legacy. Your waiting has been your fields, and God's message is your anointing, calling you to face giants, to claim your place in His story. This message is your foundation, anchoring a life built to withstand any storm. It's not about patching old cracks, it's about laying a new base, strong and true. The answers you're receiving are stones, each one solid, each one placed by God's hand. You're not just finding clarity, you're building a fortress, a place where His truth stands firm, where others find refuge. Your waiting has been like a forge's fire, heating raw iron, shaping it through heat and hammer. The flames were fierce, weren't they? The blows heavy. But God was the smith, crafting something unbreakable. His message is the moment the iron cools, revealing a weapon of purpose, sharp and ready. You're not just forged, you're wielding His truth, cutting through darkness with His light. Picture a seed, buried in winter's frost, waiting for spring's call. That's you, chosen one, hidden, patient, trusting through the cold. God's message is the thaw, the warmth that calls you to bloom. You're not just growing, you're blossoming, a flower whose beauty draws others, whose fragrance carries His presence, transforming the air around you. The answers God is bringing are like a melody, rising from the silence of your waiting. You've heard faint notes, haven't you? Whispers of hope in the quiet. His message is the full song, filling your life with harmony, inviting others to sing. You're not just hearing music, you're composing. Your life a symphony that lifts hearts, echoing His glory. Think of Ruth, gleaning in fields, waiting through grief and uncertainty. Her waiting wasn't aimless, it was faith, trusting God's hand in every step. When Boaz came, she didn't just find provision, she found a place in God's plan. Your waiting has been your fields, and God's message is your Boaz, bringing redemption, placing you in a story that blesses generations. This message is your wind, filling the sails of your soul, pushing you toward open seas. It's not about rowing harder, it's about trusting His breeze, letting it carry you. The clarity you're receiving is a current, lifting you above rocks, flowing through you to others. You're not just sailing, you're exploring, discovering new lands of purpose in His kingdom. Your life is like a mosaic, each piece a moment of faith, pain, or hope. The waiting felt fragmented, didn't it? Like the pieces didn't fit, but God was arranging them, seeing the whole picture. His message is the moment the mosaic is revealed, a stunning image of His grace. you're not just seeing beauty, you're reflecting it, drawing others to marvel at his work.